I'm starting work on the little piece that I'm going to cut out. That's going to be kind of like this, like a part of a circle, and it's going to cut off there, and then it's going to be folded back in on itself to make part of the collector for the smokestack. This is my little jig, and this thing will describe this really nice control circle. It goes in there like this. Yeah, you can see how far I'm getting through it. I thought it might be interesting for you to see how far through I've gotten it. So here's my piece that I need. I need to make it go deeper than it is now. I'm having trouble with this. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this part and how much trouble I've been having. And now I've started the process of bending it. And I have to put something like a 19-degree bend at every one of these. And it's tricky. I can do some of it just in the clamp by the side of my workbench. I think any actual metalsmiths will be amused by my anvil situation. It's not the actual piece it's going to connect to, but it's the same radius. Parts of it are okay, parts of it are still a little too tight. Yeah, that's tricky. Okay, it may be that I just can't do that. Okay, take two. This is the previous inside, and then there's enough space over here, just enough space to make a new piece, so I'm drilling a hole right there. Okay, I think I'm most of the way through it. And so I think I'm just going to pull out the jigsaw for this final cut, like I did on the last one. Maybe first I should start to do these lines. I was too impatient to wait for the battery to charge, so I just decided to use the jigsaw. Finish taking these pieces out. Got that done quicker than I did the last one. So now, got to figure out the lines, where all the lines are going to go. Okay, I've used this little bracket as a separator for drawing my lines. And it turns out that that worked out pretty evenly. So I've got 18 spaces. So it's going to be an 18 gon instead of a 19 gon like the other one. This outer edge didn't come out quite as clean as the first one, and it won't work well in my jig if it's not more or less prepared. Okay, let's try this again. See what happens, see what it sounds like. Okay, change of plans. I can't go to the desired depth with either of the saw blades that I have on here right now. And I know from my experience with the cutting discs that I can't do them all at one go either. What I'm going to do is just use this current one that I've got on there just deep enough to mark my lines. And then I'll just do it all manually with the angle grinder by hand, which I know will work. It'll take a little time, but I won't run into any weird chatter. I'll be able to see what I'm doing so that I'm not accidentally, grinding two lines in different places. Okay, abandoning this idea. The whole point of it was precision, and I'm finding that as I'm moving the saw blade over it, the whole thing is moving and rotating. So, first 3 lines were nice and crisp. This one started wandering in the wrong direction. This one started wandering in the wrong direction. So what I'm going to just do is just do it with a Sharpie and find some sort of a thing that will just do a radial line. This is ridiculous. I'd be more accurate with my hands, just freehand, than this is being. I just used this, kind of draping it over like this, and then scribing lines on either side of it to draw this, and it turned out okay, except some of the lines I feel like they need a little adjusting. I'm forcibly reminded of the Emperor's New Groove for some reason. Tried to make sure that each one was over halfway through, at least 2/3 of the way through, on both the inside and the outside. Here is my best as I could make it 16.7 degree, I want to call it a story stick, I don't know what you'd call it, but the thing that I'm going to use, that I'm going to put up against here to see if I've bent it back the right amount. Starting to line up pretty nicely on the inside diameter, which is the intention. We had two more little panels on here to try to bend. It's difficult because this starts to get in the way. If this thing were on the inside, this, I'm not quite sure. I'm contemplating just cutting off this last segment and then just bringing these things together. Zoom back out. You can see how the inner radius there, it's going to be greater. I must have miscalculated somehow. Okay, the last little bit. So we'll see. I'm hoping I can get this just a little bit. Close enough, you know. Look at that. Not too bad. Bring it together. Okay, here you can see I've brought this to. I can almost squeeze these together, but it's close. I mean, the radius is not that far off. Okay, now I've got a clamp on it, and you can kind of see that I've brought it closer together there. And it does come closer to actually matching the inner diameter once I do that. So this clamp there is scary and going to come loose at any moment. So maybe I'll put the web clamp on it somehow. But I'm pretty pleased with how that worked out. It's actually pretty close.